Hey everyone, it's Don with Don's Field of Dreams Cards. Wanted to make a video that's pertaining to some items that I received recently and some interactions with YouTubers and maybe advice. So today I am supporting one of my favorite YouTubers, possibly even my favorite Scott in the hobby, and that's Big Scott 35. So appreciate getting that from you at the National. There is another Scott who said he had a t-shirt for me that I saw that he gave out to many people at the National, but just happens to be that when I saw him, he said, "Oh, I had one for you, but Mike Moynihan stole it from you, and he has it now." So appreciate it, Mike. Awfully nice of you. Thought we were good friends. See if I'll ever be on one of your podcasts again. So speaking of the Scott that didn't give me the t-shirt, at the National, he gave me a Bill Mazeroski autograph. And then he didn't give it to me. He showed it to me and said, "Would you like this?" And I was like, "Wow, that's great." And he spent every night at our Airbnb, didn't get it. Drove 5 hours home with me in my car, didn't get it. So I did see him. I invited him to a baseball game because I took Mike Moynihan's advice on a video maybe a month ago, like, "Hey, go see history." And Pujols was in town, and he had a shot at 700 before he came to Pittsburgh, but I got Scott Reindeer something or other to come with me, and my buddy Dean Gearhart, and my son, and you've probably seen my video on it. Scott had it up too, but I think more people watch my channel than his, so that's probably where you saw it. So we were lucky enough to see him hit 697. I think there were 10 Pirate fans in the stands and about 4,000 Cardinal fans that day. But my son got it on film, so got to see a piece of history. I've been fortunate in 1998, I got to see Sosa and McGuire hit home runs in Pittsburgh. Got to see Pujols move into fourth place all time. I've seen Mario Lemieux play live. I've seen Ken Griffey Jr., Miguel Cabrera, Willie Stargell. So LeBron James I've seen live. So very fortunate to go see those players. And to be honest, I wasn't going to see Pujols. It wasn't even on my mind until Mike Moynihan did that video about, hey, seize the opportunity if you can, go see history. And even if he hadn't have hit a home run, we still would have seen him in his final year and could say, hey, we saw a great Hall of Fame or future Hall of Famer. So going back to what Scott gave me was this Bill Mazeroski autograph. And that's him rounding third in the after the home run he hit in the 1960 World Series. So appreciate finally Scott getting this. He did make something for me. I think I commissioned it when I didn't have any gray hair, but he finally got around to making it, and I'm going to show it to you. And I really have a question if Scott really is an artist. Have any of you ever seen him actually do the artwork? We see the hands in there. How do we know they're his hands? I personally think they're his son's. I don't think Scott can draw at all or paint. I think his son does all the work, and he kind of pawns it off as his own work. So let's go over the table, and I'll show you what my boy Scott, or I should say his son, made for me. All right, so let's get back to what Scott made me. It is so impressive that I cleared off just about everything that is normally back there because this is such a special piece. And so what Scott made me was a baseball card stand. Very high quality, really good craftsmanship. But I made a bunch of people baseball stands before. And not sure why I decided I needed one, but it's very nice. It's a little overkill, kind of big on the cards, and don't move them an inch or they'll just fall. So I don't know what we were thinking on this, Scott. Not the best design I've ever seen. So enough of ripping on my buddy Scott. As Alex54, I'm sorry, Alex Bowman 53 can attest to, he's been on a chat, not a live chat, a text chat with Scott and I. And Scott is, I consider, one of my best friends in the hobby. And we constantly rip on each other. And Alex was even laughing. He's like, "You two are unbelievable." And to be honest, the first time I met Scott, if you've met Scott, Scott is a very quiet guy, quite different than his videos, but a great guy. And the first time I met him was not this past year's National, but 21. I was just standing next to him in a booth and looking at cards, and he didn't say much. And I walked away thinking, wow, I don't think that guy really likes me, which he still may not. But Scott and I only live 2 hours apart. And we've gone to, so we've been to 2 nationals together, 1 card show in Cleveland, 2 in Pittsburgh, a baseball game up in Cleveland, baseball game in Pittsburgh. Generous guy. He's given me way too many gifts. And as you guys saw, the piece he did, I'm sure you saw in his video, is unbelievable. It was so awesome. Even my wife, when I brought it home, she's like, "Oh my God, like that is amazing." And as you saw in his video, he totally surprised me. I had no idea he was working on it. I knew eventually he was going to, and I had given him a few ideas, but he kind of ran with it on his own. And I'm glad he did, because I don't have that artistic feel or creativity that, I would have just came up with a plain old picture. So, as you guys know, I love Stan Musial and I love Roberto Clemente. And I have looked all over the place, and I cannot find a photo of those guys together. I've looked on Getty's website. I've looked on Cooperstown's website, eBay, all through Google. My buddy Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards, knows a guy that he deals with in those Type 1 photos. And I talked to him at the National in 21. He had never seen one. The only things I've ever seen, there's a card. It's not even that great of the two of them, a baseball card that they're both on. Rudog gave me a copy of it, and I'm not ripping on it. When I say it's not that great, Mark, I appreciate it. And there's one photo, and I meant to print it out, and I didn't get around to it, of the two of them leaving the field in the All-Star game. It's like an aerial view. Clemente's like on the bottom, I think, and there's like 4 or 5 players in between them, and Musial's up top. So I said to Scott, I wanted the two of them together. And yeah, he ripped on me on the video when I said I like him, Neo, and he said I'm weird, and maybe I am. But the Musial photo that I sent him is actually used on the 55 Rawlings box top. And then he picked the Clemente himself. So I cleared the back because, guys, as much as I appreciate everything that's been given to me, I gotta say, this is the best thing in my collection. And I truly was speechless when he gave it to me. First of all, I wasn't expecting it. And like he said, I like realism. I didn't want a marker doodle. A charcoal would have been cool because a lot of those look real, but I'm the only person I know of in the world to have something with Clemente and Musial together. And maybe I'm the only person that would want that. But one of the things I love about Scott is he's known as an artist, but I don't know that people realize what a baseball fan and historian he is. He has a great collection, and like his videos, he's sneaky. And I didn't notice it at first, but if you look at the clock up here, look at the time, 3:35. And the reason I said look at Mazeroski earlier, I'd bring him up, and why I kept this painting here. Let me zoom in. 3:35. So he included the clock at the moment when Maz hit his home run in the 1960 World Series to beat the Yankees, and he incorporated it on this. And I didn't notice it first. I had to study it, and then I texted him like, it's amazing how you sneak things like that in, subtle. So Scott, he's not a man of many words, but he's a man of a lot of good heartfelt passion, and just a really good guy. And even though he said I'm weird because I like my players kneeling, still consider you a great friend, bud. And I'm almost speechless again. This is just so awesome, and I'm so proud to own it. And not only is it a great piece, but to have a great friend make it for you. And you know, I hope you enjoyed making it as well. I know you like doing these cutouts, and I don't know the exact term, but they're my two favorite players for one of my favorite dudes in the hobby. What more can you ask for? So thank you, Scott. I look forward to hanging out with you some more. And as always, guys, hope you liked this video, and I'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye, Scott.
And they want $30. Yeah,